Welcome back to the cheapest and highest mileage Ford Mondeo in the country. Now sitting proudly at nearly 407,000 miles, a price tag of only £150 and ready for episode 4 of this high mileage series, which means today it's only right that we put it through what will be its most toughest ordeal, because for reasons completely beyond logic, Ford main dealer are insisting on seeing this high mileage spaceship, not just for a recall, but for a health check. Yes, an actual Ford main dealer mechanic is going to inspect this thing on a ramp and maybe with the card machine at the ready. And the results, well, they are somehow worse than anything we've seen before. So far, I have blind bought this car from the auction for just a bid of £150. Somehow scraped it through an MOT it had no business passing, given the engine a cheap basic service, and finally tracked down its previous mechanic who revealed it had over £15,000 spent in the last 5 years. But today, none of that matters, because the Ford main dealer is about to give us the harshest verdict yet. Let's see if the Mondeo is going to survive today, and if Ford even allow us to drive this car back home. So we've arrived at, I think it's called Hartwell Ford, over in Reading. Customer parking to the back. I didn't actually know this dealership was here because I think it used to be in a different location, so this must be a new setup they've got. Looks like we've got a workshop over here. Let's slap it in there. Do you know what, this is quite a big car because you haven't got parking sensors either. I always say you'll know when you're close because you'll hear it go bang. Let's get this dropped inside, checked in, find out what the plan of action is, and fingers crossed all goes well with a recall on this car. So let's start today by getting the Ford all checked in by entering the registration number into the system. And here I can see what work is due to be done today. All looks good to me. A few extras to add on which are a no for me, so let's say no, no and no thank you. The good thing for me is the work today will be free, as it's a recall classed as a warranty repair. And I've already downloaded the app which will keep me updated throughout the checks and repair. Not looking to pre-authorise any work today as it would financially write off the car. And finally, I just need to mark down where my car has been parked so the technicians can find it. Then a quick signature, which is definitely not accurate, and popping the car key into one of the boxes below. Jobs are good enough, I think. Now, we go home and we wait for hopefully some good news on the £150 Ford Mondeo.
2 hours later.
Hi, I'm just very quickly calling from Hartwell Ford in Reading. So your technician and the senior tech, unfortunately, has already, where they've just completed your recall, they have already invoiced off. So it hasn't given me a chance to actually give you a quote on any of the repairs that they picked up on the vehicle health check. So obviously, recall aside, that is all carried out. So they have carried out your Takata airbag replacement. But on the flip side, your vehicle health check isn't that great. So I'm sure you probably already know because it looks like you may have just purchased a vehicle. Your passenger front tyre is unfortunately a red advisory, not due to tyre tread depth, but it has got cuts right down to the cords. Your near side front fog light unit is damaged, requires replacing. We have also springs and bump stops corroded. There's nothing you'll need to do there at this moment in time. He has noted various leaks requires diagnostics. So normally initial diagnostics would be an hour, which is £150, and then they may, if they need to do any carry out, say any further stripping, then they would obviously quote in regards to further hours needed. And then you've got general body underside corrosion on there.
You get the point. It would benefit with some TLC. There's no denying that. But how far do you go with it? Let's take a closer look with a detailed video I got sent shortly after and see what the mechanic had to say.
Welcome to Hartwell Ford Reading. At Hartwell Ford, we operate a traffic light system, so anything green is in a good state of health. Anything amber is an advisory and may require replacement for your next service, and anything red will require immediate replacement. Starting off, the first things of note are the damage on the front bumper, as you can see, and the front fog light is, the near side front fog light is damaged and full of water, as you can see there. There's a hole, a crack in a hole right up here, and there is water pulled in there, so that will require a new unit. And onto the offside front tyre, the lowest minimum tread depth in the UK is 1.6mm, of course, and the lowest tread is at 4.1mm. However, unfortunately, there is a cut that's through to the cords, so that will require replacing as soon as possible. That is in the red. The front pads and discs, the discs are an advisory with a little bit of lipping, nothing major, nothing to be aware of, and the pads are at around 30% worn, so they are in the green. The front suspension is in the green, both offside and near side. And then onto the near side front tyre, the lowest tread is at 4mm, and this will be an advisory as you can see it is wearing on these edges, nothing major but something to be aware of. And then on the underside of your vehicle, as you can see, there is various leaks from, well, it's kind of impossible to determine just exactly what is leaking without further investigation, so that is in the red, and to determine the state of all of the leaks will require further investigation as it is quite substantial. The rest of your underside, there's general corrosion everywhere, which is to be expected with a car of this mileage. This exhaust, as you can see, very corroded at a lot of points, so that is an advisory. Now onto the near side rear, the lowest tread on the near side rear tyre is at 4.1mm, and once again this is an advisory as you can see it is wearing on these edges, nothing major, nothing urgent, something to be aware of. The rear suspension is an advisory as the bump stops and the springs are both fairly corroded on both sides, so that is an advisory, nothing necessarily urgent but something to be aware of. And then once again the whole rear axle is just pretty heavily corroded, the anti-roll bar is quite corroded. And then onto the offside rear tyre, the lowest tread on the offside rear tyre is at 4.5mm, and once again this tyre is an advisory as it is wearing on these edges here, once again nothing urgent but something to be aware of. And the rip pads and discs are both in the red, with the discs being pretty badly lipped and decently corroded, and the pads, the inner pad on this side specifically being at around 80% wear, so the rear pads and discs will be in the red and require replacing. Thank you for choosing Hartwell Ford. A service advisor will be with you shortly.
Comment down below and let me know what you think about the issues that are noted on the car. I think all things considered, it's still better than good for the miles that have been driven. I mean, it took me the best part of 130 miles into central London last week, along with driving into the countryside to find 15 grand in maintenance in just the last 5 years. And if you haven't seen that video, click the link in the top right hand corner. But for now, let's find out if we can go pick up the spaceship from the dealer. I think the car's actually ready to be collected, but I just want to give a quick call to make sure that recall's all gone according to plan. Let me give him a quick call.
Good afternoon, Hartwell Reading.
I believe my car is ready for collection. I just wanted to give a quick call beforehand just to make sure it's all okay and ready to collect.
Could I take the vehicle registration?
Yeah, it's Foxtrot Mike 57 Oscar Delta Java.
Should definitely be ready once, because it's saying invoiced on the system here.
Okay.
Can you get there before 5?
Yeah, I'll head down straight away.
Oh, fabulous.
Yeah.
Okay, no
Perfect.
worries then.
Thank you.
Right. Thanks then.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Okay, let's head down to the Ford dealership now, get all the keys, get all the paperwork so we can pick up my high mileage Ford Mondeo, ready to drive, and we're one step closer to getting this car onto a road trip. Let's head down there. So I've got a code which I need to, I think, access the key from the service box. So we'll get inside, get the keys. I've actually seen the car parked up, so I'm sure everything is okay because it's been parked up, left in the space where I dropped it off in the morning. So I think we're all good. A lot of the staff are going home. It is 5 o'clock, but they did say they're open till 6. Don't think I'm going to catch the service advisor. However, I still will be able to get what I need to. So let's jump inside. FM57ODJ F3. I'm over there. That is where the car is parked, where I left it. And there we go. All good. To be honest, that was such an easy way to get your car dropped off for a service, a recall. Came in the morning, dropped off the key into a electronic box. Liaising with me was fantastic. I did miss their call. The only small issue was that they weren't able to give me the price necessarily on all the things which needed doing because there was some sort of miscommunication between the workshop and with the service advisor. But to be honest with you, with me, it doesn't matter because I'm not looking to get those repairs done to the car today. But overall, service here was pretty good. But let's go check out the Ford Mondeo and get into all the details of what exactly has been done today on the car. So we have got some paperwork in front of me here. Now, you've obviously seen some of this already when I would have shown you what the e-check looks like, and obviously I just mentioned they didn't get me a price for the work that needs doing. It would have been good to some extent to see what a manufacturer would charge to get all of these things rectified to make this car advisory free. But at the same time, taking a car with 406,000 miles to the main dealer, you know, this is a car that they wouldn't see very often. They're used to more newer cars with less miles. But to be quite honest, considering that this is a main dealer, all of the things which they've noted down for this car, I'm not really that concerned or annoyed about. I think it's pretty fair. A lot of these things we were aware of before when we took the car for an MOT. A couple of things like the issue with the tyre, that may possibly be new. But realistically, when it's done this miles and the car is this old, you're not expecting perfection. What has been changed today specifically, which is the reason for the car even coming to the dealership and getting a free health check, was the airbag. Now, quite interestingly, this looks brand new, which does make sense because obviously this airbag has been replaced. I'm actually going to take a quick photo of this so you can see what I'm talking about. But this center section looks brand new, which is a bonus. It's a safety recall, it's free, it needed doing, and ultimately, whilst the car's here, we got a health check done. But from a visual point of view, even though this steering wheel is falling apart, the center section now does look a lot cleaner and a lot more refreshed. Small details, I know it's not here for aesthetics reasons, but that is a bit of a bonus. And that brings today's inspection, health check, recall to an end. And I'm glad to say things are looking good for the Ford. It's not perfect, it has got a lot of bruises, it has got leaks, but ultimately it's a 406,000 mile trooper that has got the potential to get us all the way somewhere into Europe and for a big adventure. So on that note, guys, I'm going to end today's video here. Thank you so much again for watching, and I'm going to see you all on the next one. Take care, guys.